Killarney.
Was that? Madam Speaker, I am so grateful to my colleagues on the opposite side today. When I came in drinking my soda, they told me it was bad for my health. It definitely demonstrated that they do love me, Madam Speaker. They're concerned for me. I appreciate that. But Madam Speaker, I want to send condolence out to the family of Mr. Mindoff, the principal of Lifewood Key School that had passed away. Send condolence to his family, to the entire school body, from myself, my wife, and the entire Killarney constituency. And I want to remind the people in Killarney and Twin Lakes that very soon we'll have our sign in the Twin Lakes area saying, "Welcome to Twin Lakes," as we do such signage in all of our various different subdivisions, so that as individuals come and drive in the western end of the island, they would know where all the various subdivisions, because they're clearly marked: West Wind, Southwest Ridge, etc. But Madam Speaker, I was so moved by what the member from Marathon said, and I want to quote her. She said, the bill is about the essence. The essence of this bill is about accountability. And I am totally in agreement with her. Because as citizens of this country, we as consumers, we are consumers of all government services: health, education, security, and transport, and many others that I have only named a few. And we expect proper services from the government just as we do from the private sector. We expect government to deliver similar results. Madam Speaker, whatever I say, at the end, I will table the backup documents to support. Yeah, move this. To support whatever I say. And I'm asking the clerk, as the clock is not working, I won't be able to follow properly. I may not necessarily use my 30 minutes, but to be on the safe side, when there's 7 minutes remaining, ring the bell twice, so that I would know that I now must tailor everything, do the fine cuts, so that I can complete. And then you can do your usual thing, 2 minutes, and I know that I'm coming to an end. Madam Speaker, I rise again on behalf of the lovely people of the beautiful constituency of Killarney to offer, you don't vote for me though, to offer my contribution to offer my contribution to debate before this honorable House. We debate at a time when the people of Killarney, like the people of the entire Bahamas, are very, after 2 years of New Day deliverance or New Day governance. After 2 years, Madam Speaker, we have a government that can't pave the roads, and yes, you were right about services, or patch the potholes, and yes, you were right about services. We are now told it may take until 2025 to fix all the roads in New Providence. 2025, 2 more years of suffering. In the meantime, the residents of New Providence will continue to suffer from both bad roads and poor governance. In fact, Madam Speaker, and I'm happy the consumer protection agencies are here, because we want to complain about those potholes. Madam Speaker, a constituent in my constituency who has a very small car complained to me that they were driving and they hit a pothole and subsequently had broken their axle and bent their rim. I told them that they pay their taxes and government is supposed to deliver the services. So sue them. Sue them. You must pay. You have a responsibility. Individuals are paying for the services. Deliver the services or pay. And if you can't deliver it, then back aside and let the F&M come back. That ain't no joke. Madam Speaker, according to a story in the Tribune of March 2nd last year, the public was advised that Gladstone Road would be turned into a 4-lane highway by the third or fourth quarter of 2024. Can the government please advise if they are on track to meet this deadline? And Madam Speaker, we have an uncaring and indifferent government whose poor governance and actions caused the highest electricity bill in the Bahamian history. And some Bahamians are going into their savings just to keep the lights on. Poor service. Consumer Protection Agency must be depressed and upset. When electricity bills go up, there's a ripple effect, resulting in most businesses having to raise their prices, which they pass on to us, the consumers. This is why, Madam Speaker, it is more than ironic that we are here debating a consumer protection bill. The government's action have failed to protect us, the consumers. Even worse, they have done great harm to consumers. I note that the Anglican bishop has called on removal of VAT on bread basket items. This is something I have called, and the F&M have called for, among many others, for almost 2 years. It is shameful and stunning that this government will not heed the cries of the poor, the cries of the middle class and religious leaders to lift this terrible burden from the Bahamian people. You caused my corned beef to go up. Even as they can afford to give tens of millions for consultancies to PLPs and fly around the world in great luxury, this administration is hurting the poor. Even as PLP leaders eat the finest food in first class and in luxury hotels, they are indifferent and callous when it comes to the cost of basic foods for us, the Bahamian people. Look at the cost of basic foods like chicken, fruits, and vegetables, as well as various bread basket items. The prices, Madam Speaker, are outrageous. And they just keep going sky high. Keep going up, 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 up. Car, health, and home insurance continue to go up. Consumers, families, and businesses are hurting. Consumers need protection from high prices and an uncaring government. Furthermore, we have a government that has no solution to the crime crisis in New Providence. And Madam Speaker, just on Sunday, just past, at 9:30 a.m. in my constituency, in the city Super Value Shopping Plaza, there was a shootout in the shopping plaza. And as a result, individuals who were shopping in the store at 9:30 could not come out. I have the pictures of multiple police cars in the area. We need protection. Sadly, This is the state of our country in 2023. Even as things are going from bad to worse, the government, PLP, keep bragging that things are getting better. Ask them out there. Ask the public if things are getting better. Yes, they are getting better, but only for you and certain PLPs. Madam Speaker, today we debate the Consumer Protection Bill 2023. The bill seeks to provide greater protection for consumers in their dealings with providers and to repeal and replace the Consumer Protection Act 2006. The bill seeks to continue the Consumer Commission under the Consumer Protection Act 2006 and introduces new functions of the Commission. The bill also seeks, in part, to provide the framework for the lodging of consumer complaints and investigations, and protect the consumer by setting out the obligation to recall certain goods, as well as providing the procedure in which a provider may voluntarily recall certain goods. The bill also sets out various other requirements of providers, such as honoring warranties, disclosure to consumers as to whether goods are reconditioned, rebuilt, remade, or repaired, and to provide the price of goods or services. Madam Speaker, these are just a few of the various measures contained in the bill seeking to bolster consumer protection. It is important that Bahamian consumers are protected in the health sector, the educational sector, the roadworks and the transportation sector, and most of all, in the security sector, and they must be protected in the business sectors when they make purchases. As legislators, we have the responsibility to ensure regulations are in place, to ensure products are being sold in a safe and responsible manner. We also have responsibility to ensure there's oversight of the items being sold. I support this legislation. However, there are other aspects of consumer protection this administration is not looking at. Madam Speaker, the Brave Davis PLP cost of living crisis continues and is getting worse. I will continue to raise this in this House because our people need relief. The pensioners and retirees who built this country and made great sacrifices, they are hurting. They are crying. Literally, some are crying and depressed. They are finding it very difficult to survive. Light bills gone up, continue to rise. Gasoline prices continue to rise. Real property tax continue to rise. And it's difficult to purchase food. What, I'm going to explain that. What are you doing about that? They're not receiving enough to purchase food, and they're now, many of them, are seeking food assistance from social services and other entities. They cannot, because of the crisis and the escalation of prices and the inflation that we experience, they cannot assist their grandkids, their kids, with fees both here and abroad, and as a result, many of their grands and their kids who were in institutions are withdrawing. And it also applies here. Individuals whom they were assisting because they cannot, with the escalation of the prices and the fees that they must pay, the students.
Crossing the floor.
Oh, you switch?
Welcome. We got one.
Welcome aboard.
We got one.
Welcome aboard.
We got one. And then there was 8.
I had only said wait until 2026 when you'd move. But you're coming over early. But we'll take that one. Monroe, we don't want you, though. You trouble. So the children, some are leaving school, Madam Speaker. They cannot give their kids money to assist their children with lunch, breakfast, and other amenities. And therefore, they're staying home. What are you doing about it? Be bold. Be bold. And introduce, be bold and swift, and introduce the National Food Program in education that we spoke about. Not just a pilot program for breakfast. No. Be bold and swift for pensioners who are on fixed income, and eliminate real property tax for owner-occupied dwelling up to the value of $750,000. That would remove the burden on the middle class and working class pensioners.
The chair recognizes the honourable member for Yamacraw.
Stop that hand clock.
The good member was on a stride. I didn't want to interrupt. But I think you have to correct a statement that was made that parents are keeping children home because they can't give them lunch money. The record shows that there's an increase in student attendance in schools higher than any, higher than any time under their time, and definitely before that. So for him to suggest that children are not going to school because parents can't afford to is misleading. It's misleading. Which child? Your experience? That one person you can give them.
Thank you, honourable member. Honourable member for Killarney, 1 minute, please.
No, I've never been there. I went to see our Walker, man. And many days I had no lunch. I speak from experience. And during lunchtime, we used to find things to do because you were embarrassed for individuals to see that you didn't have anything. So you found things to do.
Honourable member for Killarney. Yes, sir.
Be bold. Be bold. We need to prioritize areas like education, health, and security, because they are the determinants of our future. They determine the direction of our country. These are critical areas for development, and therefore, pay scales in these areas should reflect they are national priorities so that we attract and retain the best and brightest in these areas. I know, Mr. Speaker, I know the New Day Command don't really feel it. Many of them have gotten straight. They have new cars and they have big jobs. There are plenty contracts with more to come. The New Day supporters don't interrupt me for uninterruptible things. No, I'm not going to show this Coke because the young people may see and it's not necessarily good for them. But it's giving me a little uplift. You know, I'm becoming like the inflation, rising. The New Day supporters are all around town boasting about how good life is. They do not feel what most Bahamians feel. Bahamians who are not a part of this Davis special crew are struggling with out-of-control cost. The price of gasoline is above $6 a gallon. The PLP administration has refused to lower the gas taxes. Food costs keep going up and up and up. Light bills are at historical levels, and many people and many businesses can't pay their full electricity bills. Some have had their power cut off under this hard-hearted administration, and some people are having to use kerosene lamps, candles, and makeshift generators, some of which may pose risk to their life, hazardous. Is this what the New Day was supposed to look like? Everywhere Bahamians turn, they are hurting. God forbid there is an unexpected incident, like an accident or health problem, or if you fall into one of these potholes. You know, we won't touch our 7-minute mark yet. You know, Mr. Deputy, anyhow, let me leave that just in case I run out of time. Mr. Deputy, I saved that. Consumers, no, I can talk about that now. You know, I was on a plane the other day, and the plane was bumping. No, the plane was bumping. And a lot of people, Bahamians, you know, they're frightened. I got used to that, flying on all these little planes, because I was flying on a little plane before and the door flew open. Yeah, I'll tell you about that one day. But the plane was really bumping, and the passengers started screaming. And I said to them, relax, relax, be okay. Just imagine you are driving on Nassau roads and you're hitting potholes. That's all. And you'll be safe. Think of potholes. But Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy, consumers selected the New Day administration in 2001. They believed the PLP would at least try once in office to lessen the burden they felt. Instead, the Bahamian people have in power a group who acts first, last, and foremost for the PLP. Where is the consumer protection for the Bahamian people from these high BPL bills? As we speak, I am advised that there's electrical surge in parts of the eastern area. Half homes are light on and half is off. And appliances are being destroyed, shot. Even security systems, shot, having problems. The surges. Appliances throughout this country. People have lost their TV. Where is the consumer protection? People have lost their appliances because of the surges. Where is the protection? The refrigerators. I was sitting down watching my TV. I only bought it 1 month. And I was sitting down, and BPL blew it. I wrote them and had discussion for 6 months, back and forth. And they refused to pay. They refused to pay. They blew it. I knew when the surge came, and I had all the evidence. So I'm not talking from hearsay. I had to replace it. But I could have afforded. What about that poor man? What about that poor man who can't afford it? He cannot afford to replace his microwave. He cannot afford to replace his television. He cannot afford to replace his refrigerator. Man, I ain't stopping. He cannot afford to replace his refrigerator. And as a result of that, his medical supplies become compromised.
The chair recognizes the honorable member.
Let me cool before my head.
Yeah, drink. Drink a lot, drink a lot. Mr. Deputy, just really a point of correction. In my time at BPL, which is some 20 years, not far removed from the place, there is a system in place with regards to refunds. 1 second, sir. One second, member. 1 sec. There's a system in place. BPL records all downtimes, and so they're well aware when something happens. And if you fill out the necessary paperwork, they will speak with you with regards to a refund. It may not be 100% of what you require, but there will be some refund. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable member.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy. That was an excellent rebuttal, because now I know BPL listening, so they know I come in for my TV. I had to buy it, and I have it all in the system. He said they may not give me 100%, but I may get 50, but I don't want $10. I may get 50. Where's the consumer protection for the Bahamian people from these high gasoline prices and gasoline taxes? Where's the consumer protection from the high bread basket taxes? That's 7 minutes. I got time. That's the 7. That's the 7. That was twice.
Always worth repeating.
So these taxes so heartlessly imposed by the New Day administration. 2 years into their term, and it is clear the Bahamian people need protection. But they need protection from you, the PLP. Mr. Deputy, the government gets most of its revenue from taxes. The money it has to spend, it's the people's money. It's my money. That's why you all don't want to replace my TV. Give me my money back. The people expect reasonableness from the government of the day. The New Day government has wasted millions and millions of the people's money flying all over the world, luxury travel. We in the opposition, Mr. Deputy, have raised this repeatedly because what they are doing is excessive. We will continue to call out the PLP for wasting the people's money. That's not stale. We will continue to call you out. No amount of spin or explaining and trying to turn the tables by them can depart from the fact that this Prime Minister is out of control when it comes to using the people's money to see the world of luxury. He is so excited to be going in a few weeks. Listen to me, listen to me. He is so excited about going in a few weeks on another big trip to a conference in Dubai. I have lost track of how many times he has gone to Dubai, but let's not forget, that was when he took one of his first big trips with a huge entourage. How many people, Miss Talker, Elizabeth, how many people are going with him this time? How many are flying in first class or business class? How many will be staying in suites? While he's gone again, Elizabeth, the Bahamian people will be here struggling with the cost of living, with the consequences of his and his PLP's failure to govern well. Mr. Deputy, by March of next year, the PLP administration will be around the midway point of their term. Almost done. They are not a new government, yet they still often come into this place trying to blame the former administration for what is not going right on their watch.
You don't do it.
The people elected you,
You don't do it.
the PLP, 2 years ago.
What?
They expected you, the PLP, to address the range of issues. It is ridiculous and it is pathetic to come in here 2 years into a term and blame the side that was voted out 2 years ago for issues at hand today. Don't blame me no more. The PLP is the governing party. The PLP has the responsibility to solve problems,
Fix it.
not to blame others
Fix it.
for the PLP's failures, mistakes, and lack of action. It is clear that this governing party has no clear and compelling vision. It is clear the PLP's leaders has few to no plans on crime, on health care, on reducing the cost of living, on climate change, on Grand Bahama, on family island development, on BPL, solar energy, and on many, many other issues. He does have a plan now. He have a plan, the leader. They are called travel plans. He plans to visit as many countries as possible before the next election. I have 2 minutes. I coming down. It is clear, Mr. Deputy, that this administration is only here to ensure PLPs live a good life. I can finish. This is their main plan. They plan to get themselves straight. Mr. Deputy, the Bahamian people are losing more and more faith in this government on multiple levels. This failing government has failed to protect consumers, and I hope the Consumer Protection Agency deal with those potholes. This failing government has failed to protect us, the consumers. Instead, most of the last 2 years have been spent getting straight. Mr. Deputy, I have reviewed the bill. My colleagues have reviewed the bill, and we support the bill. Thank you very much.